Hey everyone, Mark Ferguson with Invest for More. I'm back with another video. Today, I'm going to talk about real estate agents, how to be more successful as an agent. Most of my videos are fix and flips, rental properties, investing, but I'm also a very successful agent. I run a team with 6 licensed agents on it. I don't sell myself much anymore because I let my team do it, but for a certain period of time there, I was selling close to 200 houses a year myself. So that's one way I was able to get money to invest in real estate was through my real estate agent activities and selling houses. So it's an amazing business to be in, but it's not easy to do. And I'm doing this video because normally I have coaching calls that I do with some agents in a coaching program, and we do calls once or twice a month. I give a little presentation, I take questions from everybody, and on our call, nobody showed up. So instead of doing a call, I'm going to do a video, send that to my coaching students for them, and I'll let YouTube see it as well. So if you're interested, send me an email, mark@investformore.com. I've got a couple different coaching programs. I don't think I market them quite as well as I should since I'm a little busy with my investing and other activities since nobody showed up on the call. But that's okay. Also have email coaching with those programs as well. But I'm going to talk about how to be a step above other agents, how to be successful, how to sell a lot of houses. There's a lot of people who become agents and a lot of agents who never make it. They don't sell enough houses. They don't sell enough houses quick enough to make a living. They give up. They go back to a regular job. And usually it's not because there's too many agents out there. It's not because they weren't good at their job. It's because they just didn't know exactly what they needed to do to succeed. And there's just a few things you have to do as an agent that will let you sell houses, let you build your business up, and really kind of build a pipeline of leads coming in where you don't have to constantly pay for Zillow, you don't have to constantly post things on Craigslist, you don't have to constantly market, although marketing always helps. But eventually, if you build up your database, your referrals, that business will come into you. And I'm not going to be talking all about databases or referrals, but more about how to actually close deals and get houses sold from the get-go. I will touch on databases because they're super important, but mostly we're going to talk about selling. And I am not a salesman. That is not my strength, but I still sold a lot of houses. And you don't have to sell a house to somebody. You just have to be kind of their guide. Show them houses, figure out what they need or help them figure it out, help them through the process, and they will sell themselves in the properties once they find the right one, once they know they want to use you as their agent. So first I will briefly talk about database. You have to keep track of the people you talk to. Everybody. Your business acquaintances, friends, family, anybody you talk to, and you have their name, you have their number, you have an address, you need to keep track of it in some sort of database, some sort of electronic filing system where you have their name, you can market to them, you can send them things once a month, once every couple of months, call them up once in a while, just keep in touch. That's really one of the basic things every successful agent does. And if you're not doing that, you're constantly going to be chasing leads, trying to come up with new ways to find clients instead of having clients come back to you. And it's so much easier to sell houses and do business with people who already know you, who have already worked with you, than to constantly find new people who you have to convince to use you and become your client. So make sure you've got that database set up. Make sure you're doing that first. And when you start selling to people, if you do a good job, that will become your best lead source, is those people referring people to you, their friends, their family, their coworkers. As long as you keep in touch with them, remind them how awesome you were, you'll have business coming in. But how do you actually sell to somebody? When you first get started, when you get those leads, when you get those Zillow leads or those, floor calls or open house people, how do you make them your client? It's not easy because when people are calling you from Zillow, they're probably getting called by other agents. They're probably calling other agents themselves. They're probably going to open houses. They're usually in a very early stage of buying a house. They're not calling you up saying, hey, I found 123 A Street. I want to make an offer on it. I need an agent. Can you write that up for me? It's not that easy. So you have to build trust and get them to become your client. And there's a simple way to do that. And it is follow up. You have to follow up with them. You have to keep in touch with them. You have to remind them you're there. And most agents don't do it. It seems simple. It seems like a very easy thing to do, but it's really easy not to do it at the same time. It's really easy to put off calling people. It's really easy not to follow up. It's really easy to just kind of let it slide and then kind of say, well, they probably didn't want to buy a house anyway, so I didn't really miss out anything, or they weren't really serious, or they weren't ever going to use me as their agent, so it would have been a waste of time. But really, that's what you have to do. You have to follow up. That's your job as a salesman. It's not to sell a house. It's not to give the client something they don't want and convince them to buy something they don't want. Your job is to become their agent, the person who helps them find what they want, helps them see houses. And it's all about follow-up. So if you meet someone at an open house, someone comes in on floor duty, if someone responds to one of your ads, if you get a lead, first off, you've got to respond to them as soon as you possibly can, right away. Answer your phone if possible. That's the first thing. Always answer your phone if you're available to answer it as an agent, because people who call agents and don't have one yet, most of them will not leave a message. They'll just keep calling agents until someone answers. We're a information-based society that wants things to happen right now. We don't want to wait. So people won't wait for you to call them back in a few hours or a day. So answer your phone if you can. If you can't answer your phone, you do get that message, call them back as soon as you can. Even if you don't know the answers to their questions, if they want to know a price on a house and you're out and about, you don't have information with you, call them back and say, hey, I'm out. I'm going to be back to the office in an hour. I'll get that information. I'll call you back then. I just want to touch base and let you know I'm working on it, and I will get you that information. Really simple to do, really easy, but you have to do it. You can't just wait. If you do wait, a few hours or too long and you're kind of kicking yourself, call them anyway. We get into that mode where maybe you wait a day to call someone back and it's like, well, I've waited so long. If I call them back now, they're going to think I'm a bad agent. They won't want to talk to me. They're like, why'd you wait so long to call me? And we just don't do it. Do it anyway. You have to call them back. You have to do it. What's the worst going to happen? They can say no. They can say, oh, they found another agent. But they might also say, oh, yeah, we were waiting for you to call, or we forgot that we had called you, but thanks for calling us back. We're just looking at a house right now. You never know what could happen. You have to call them back as soon as you possibly can, even if it's a little bit later than you had hoped it would be, and you're starting to feel a little bad about it. I know all this from personal experience. It's hard for me to do that as well. It's hard for me to call people, to keep in contact. I had those same feelings where I'd wait too long to call them. I didn't want to call them. I wanted to give up. But when I became successful is because I got out of my comfort zone. I made myself do those things even though I didn't want to. And once you find some success, you see it works, it's much easier to do over and over again. You kind of build habits and you become successful. Now, along the way, you're going to call these people, you're going to talk to them, maybe even show them a house, and they're probably not going to buy right away. They're not going to buy the first house they see. They're not going to sign up with you the first time you talk to them on the phone, and they might be shopping for other agents as well. So you can't just call them once, and because they don't call you back or they don't respond to one email, give up on them. You've got to follow up. And this is kind of where the sales training comes in. If you go to sales meetings, if you talk to really good salesmen, they follow up like crazy. That's their mantra. Just follow up, follow up, follow up. And the rule of thumb is for new clients who are just getting started in the process, you have to follow up 7 times before you become their agent. That's a lot. That's a lot of follow up. But that's why so many agents are not successful, because they don't do it. So if you can do that, if you can get in the habit of doing that and just making it a habit to call people, email them, follow up as many times as you possibly can, you will be ahead of the other agents. You will sell more houses. You will get more business. You will build a client base that will just keep expanding and expanding and eventually just keep sending you deals instead of you having to chase them. And it's not easy to follow up that much. You feel like you're bugging people, you feel like you're harassing them, but it works. And if you are harassing them, if you are bugging them, they will probably tell you. If they're using another agent and they want you to stop calling them, they will tell you. If they've already bought a house and got under contract, they will tell you. It's not that hard for someone to tell you to stop calling them, and it's not the end of the world either. You probably don't even know this person. You'll probably never see them again. So it's okay. I mean, it's okay to get a no. That's another, rule of thumb in the salesman world is you start to figure out every time you hear no, it's a good thing. Every no you hear gets you closer to your next yes. And, there's a lot of sales training out there. There's you want to get 100 no's or you want to get 10 no's. You want 20 no's. That's your goal. You want to keep going until you get those 20 no's because the 21st one's going to be a yes. Whatever your averages are for how many calls you make, 1 out of 20, 1 out of 10, whatever it is, will be a yes. So the more no's you get, the closer you are to getting that yes. So it's not a bad thing for people to not be interested right away, to tell you no. It just means you're getting closer. It's a good thing. It means you're out there getting people's attention, giving them a reason to say no. You're not sitting at your desk waiting for things to happen to you, twiddling your thumbs, hoping someone calls you, hoping someone walks in. You're out there making it happen. So you have to call, you have to follow up, you have to email. You can't just sit around waiting for it to happen, and you can't make excuses in your head on why they wouldn't have bought, or it's their fault for not calling you back, or that other agent stole my client. It's on you for not following up enough. It's your responsibility. You've got to own it, take responsibility for it, and keep working at it until you've perfected the system. It's not easy. Like I said, it's hard for most people to do it, and that's why most agents aren't super successful. But you see the ones who are successful and make a lot of money, they're not afraid to hear those no's. They're not afraid to follow up. They're not afraid to keep calling, keep emailing, keep texting, whatever it is that works best for that client. And that's something else you should be paying attention to as well. It's easier for me to email people than to call them. It's easier for me to text people than to call them. I just feel more comfortable doing it. But that doesn't mean the other person wants you to text them or email them. Maybe they want to talk on the phone, and you have to figure that out along the way as well. If you're emailing somebody and they don't ever respond to you, or it takes them 2 days to respond to you, try calling them. Maybe they'll answer right away. Maybe they call you back right away. That's a sign they want to talk on the phone. They don't like email. Maybe they want to hear, someone's voice and conversation. There's a lot of people like that. There's some people who prefer email. Maybe they don't ever answer their phone. They don't ever return voicemails. But if you email them, they respond right away. If you send them a text, they respond right away. That's a sign that that's their preferred method of communication. So don't use your preferred method of communication. Figure out what the other person's preferred method is and use that, because that will make them happier. It'll make them want to use you more as an agent, and it's just a better way to build rapport, make them a client, and continue a relationship that hopefully will last many years into the future. They'll keep sending you business, and it will help you become more successful as an agent. So, not a long video today, but I really want to reiterate, it's really easy to get caught up chasing new leads, trying to drum up that business. But if you're not following up, if you're not cultivating those leads, you're just missing a huge opportunity. Quality is always better than quantity. Calling 100 different people one time is not going to be as effective as calling 10 different people 7 times or 10 times and really building those relationships with those people. So remember that as an agent, really focus on follow-up, focus on rapport, getting to know people, and quality over quantity. All right, that's all I've got. Make sure you check out investformore.com for much more information on being an agent. Have some free resources, free video training on that. If you're interested in the coaching, let me know, Mark at investformore.com. Also have a link at the bottom of this video. And I'll do some more videos soon. I'm going to be buying my 20th flip tomorrow, so I'll have 20 at one time, and I'll have a new video coming out on that property too. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your week.